Today's lesson is on laptop screen types, that is chapter 6, laptop screen types, CCFL and LED discussion. Laptop screen type, CCFL and LED discussion, and repair methods including LCD bulb replacement, power inverter repair, etc. So what will we learn? Laptop screen types, CCFL and LED discussion, and repair methods including LED bulb replacement, power inverter repair, etc. Laptop screen today will use one of the two common lightning system. Both are still considered LED screen because their image to the screen is liquid crystal display. It is the only lightning that will change for these two types. LED light on a laptop is newer technology because all screen used to use only CCFL bulbs. The CCFL bulb is a thin glass tube with a protecting metal pliable rod on other side. Wires are soldered on both end of the bulb when attached to the plug and will plug into the power inverter. You will need to solder the wires to the ends if you ever need to order a replacement bulb. You can, however, usually find replacement bulbs that come pre-wired and plugs are attached. You get the same size bulb as your screen spaces specify. When disassembling the screen, you will start to removing the power inverter if it is attached. You will notice that all screens are framed with a metal frame. This helps to hold all the screen parts together. It also helps by framing the front screen glass panel in and protects the glass edges from the harm. You are going to use a razor blade here to help separate this metal frame from the rest of the screen. This frame wraps the front of the screen panel to the top of the panel edges all the way around the screen. Most screens will have one or several pieces of tape that cover the frame edge. You will need to run the razor blade edge between the seam of the screen frame and the aluminum bulb backing plate. To do this, you will flip the screen its back side and start at the top of the screen, running the razor from left to right. Be careful not to cut the LCD bulb wires or scratch any of the screen panels. These sides of the screen will usually have securing tape that you need to either peel away or carefully cut the separate of the front metal frame. Once you have cleared the securing tape, you will now be unsnapping the metal frame away from the screen panel. You will need a plastic pry tool assist you in removing the frame. The best tool would a guitar pick. You need to start at the top. It is imperative that you do start at the top of the screen when removing the frame, because you are not completely removing the frame. You can, but it is not needed to change the bulb. You will wedge the peak between the seam of the frame and screen top side. Slightly pry upward near one of the imprinted tabs on the frame and push outward away from the front of the screen glass panel. Do not force the frame away or you might crack the screen. Go slow, have patience, and you will easily be able to separate this frame. Slide the pick back and forth from the right side end and frame to the left hand side. Then you can do the same to the sides, though start from the top and work your down and side, pushing the frame away while you are going. The frame will fall in front of the display panel, so literally fall. You can now either pull the frame away and set aside, or you can leave it attached to the bottom frame tape but just flip it down on the table while holding the screen up a 90% angle. You will now see an aluminum bulb guard on the rear upper side of the screen. This can sometimes have a micro-sized screw on each side, so look real close for the one and remove it. And now right where the screw was just removed was Flip the screen to the side and parallel with the bulb guard. Screw will be screw on the side of the screen and it will be micro size screw and will need to be removable. The same goes for the opposite side of the screen. Then again there might be a second screw on the side of the screen towards the bottom of the side. Some will have this and some will not have. The object now is to pull the metal bulb tray up and away from the screen to swap out the bulb. There will be few things you will have to do before simply lifting the metal aluminum tray away from the screen. In the above photo, the red arrow shows. I will place some photographs in between the classes so that you can understand easily. Red shows the metal bar tray and blue arrow shows you will be sliding it to outwardly remove. After you free the LED wires, remove any tape that is securing the LCD bulb plug wires to the screen bottom side, usually a piece of thin yellow type. You should now see a white tab that's a wire stuck through. The white tab holder is attached to a thin plastic rail that runs horizontal along with the top front of the screen and will be stuck off the screen using sticky double side tape strips. What do I do here is a pry tool and gently lift up on the white small tab securing the wires. Lift it up a 90% angle and you will be able to pull each wire out of the track and away. One wire is short, the other long. The long wire will be stuck to the thin horizontal plastic strip that runs along the top front of the screen. You simply will pull the bulb wire to release it from the track along with the front. It should peel right off. You should still have the small white plastic wire tab sliding up the air 90% and you will want to use that as a pull tab to pull the tab itself at the horizontal plastic bar away from the screen panel and metal bulb tray. The goal is to allow free space to slide the metal bulb guard out of the away from the screen. You will use a fingernail or a plastic pry tool to push the metal bulb tray upward. Start on one side, then slide it a little bit, then go to the opposite side and slightly lift it, alternating until it is free from the screen. Be very careful when doing this, otherwise the bulb will break, though it is already broke, which is why we are changing it. Once you have the metal bulb guard free, set the screen aside. The bulb guard will have the bulb will still and inside this tray there is actually a smaller metal tray inside the large metal tray. You can go ahead and separate these trays from one another now. Look at both ends of the LCD bulb. This is typically where a bulb failure will occur at either end. Either the wire will overheat and will break, or it will deteriorate the wire to a very fragile state so that if you were to wiggle it slightly, it would snap and break. Look at the very ends of the bulb to a faulty bulb usually shows a blackish color at the end and both ends. This is due to internal bulb heat, which is why laptops can have color washouts, pinks, orange, reds, to where the whole view of the screen when illuminated has pastel transparent color tint to it. The tint can change colors as well, and you can sometimes hear a faint buzzing noise from the bulb. Flickering of the light and off is another signal that the bulb is falling. Once again look at the bulb end. You should have only a smaller metal bulb guard the bulb in front of you. There are white rubber caps on each side covering the LCD bulb power post. These are there to keep the post and wire grounded so the screen doesn't short the bulb. You do not want to lose these caps. They are not glued on, they only slide on and can easily fall off. So very cautious. You will use a plastic pick or a pry tool now to push the actual LCD bulb out of the small metal tray housing. Notice here the placement of the bulb wires at both ends. Notice they do not produce straight out of the back end of the bulb. No, they are bent to right angle 90-degree angle at the end of the bulb and are capped with the white rubber plug. They also bend towards the front of the metal tray, not the top, not downward. They do it for the reason they do this to allow it to properly slide back into and out of the small metal tray guard, then slide back over the screen glass panel when reassembling, so that the wires are both out of the way and ready to stick along the top front plastic rail. So when replacing the bulb, you will make sure the ends are properly recapped with the white grounding rubber caps and that the wires are placed facing the correct direction for reassembly. If you need to take photos while you work to able to remember assembly and reverse process. The power inverter is the only part left for the screen repairing. You can only do so much to repair the inverter if failure occurs. The only thing I have found that works about 60% of the time is to change the transformer block the inverter. It is the part which the copper wire wrapped all around it, a long rectangular set component with legs on both ends, usually 2 to 3 on side and 2 to 6 on the other. The legs attaching to contact pads on the inverter boards. You will need to use a soldering gun and flux paste. This is the component what usually fails on the inverter and is replaceable. Yes, you can repair your power inverters, just replace these transformers. Power inverter issues. The job of a laptop power inverter is to convert DC power current back to over AC power current. This is done because on an LCD bulb needs more power than DC voltage can provide. While when a power inverter fails, you will lose your light to the screen. The bulb will still be good and the screen is still good. The display will even be running without light. The easiest way to test a faulty inverter is to replace with a known good one. Another way to test the inverter is to attach another display panel to your laptop. If that other screen as well as no light, you have just ruled out the LCD bulb as being the problem. You know this because you know for a fact that the secondary screen that you have attached is a known working screen and that has a good bulb. I will now show you how to order a replacement screen for the specific laptop in question. To replace a cracked screen or whatever the issue, you can order the screen by model number of the laptop, but I do not recommend doing so, and it is the lazy way to replace it. Not only is it not correct, it could harm the laptop by possibly installing an incompatible screen. You need to realize that not all vendors will send the exact screen you need and will sometimes replace with the closest compatible screen, even swapping sticker labels. I have been seen it all. The way you should be replacing ordering the screen is to remove the screen and look at the white larger sticker on the rear side of the screen. It will tell you exact part number of the screen. It will also show you the type or model of the screen. The numbers later are important in ensuring you receive an exact replacement part. The replacement screen part replacement number will almost always include the screen size in the number. Here is a typical screen part number: LP173 WD1 HD plus TL A2 17.3 inch. Notice in the number that the screen size it is in the LP173. You will find this in most of the screen numbers. Now notice the TL and the A2. It is very important that you replace with the same exact number. If you do not, you are risking damaging the laptop or the screen simply will not work. It will show gray color or a white out. So thank you for listening. we will be covering laptop not powering on issues and resolutions in the chapter 7.